On the previous episode,
I just picked up this 2003 Pontiac Vibe GT.
alright, so we picked up this 2003 Pontiac Vibe GT, and I showed you guys around it on the last episode. I'll put a link to it for you if you want to watch that one. We basically just went around the car, showed everything about it. It's got 257,000 miles, it's a high mileage car. We cleaned it up, got it on the lift. We found some problems, a bunch of problems. We've got wheel bearings that are bad. We got exhaust that needs repaired. We've got ends up an axle is bad. A bunch of stuff. And one of the things that we did get done was we fixed the roof rack rattle, and then we are picking up from that spot.
Alright guys, so I'm back out here, and the next thing we need to address is this right here. I'm not sure what's going on here, but this clamp is not doing its job, and the clamp is actually hitting this little cross member here. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this clamp off. We're going to see what we got going on. Maybe we can weld it. Maybe I should just weld it to the clamp itself. I don't really know yet. So let's just get this clamp out of the way and see what we got. Man, how did that happen? That's weird. Yep. Oh yeah. That just broke. It just broke right there. Okay. Well, we can probably weld it. Getting to the top of it is going to be a bit of a pain. I guess we'll just throw this in the parts bin. And we're going to weld this. So I'm going to give this a little wire brushing to give us a little bit better chance. It's still probably going to be a really crappy weld because of the condition of the pipe. But if we can get it stuck back together and sealed up, I'll be happy for now. Alright, well, it's stuck back together. Now all we gotta do is just keep going around. Alright, the top's gonna be kind of just a goober, but we're just trying to get it to seal. Alright, I think that's probably good. Alright, the top looks terrible, but it is secure. So now I'm going to get a couple self-tappers and secure this back up, this heat shield, and then we can call that good. Okay, here's one. Boom, shakalaka. And then battery's dead. Alright. Got rid of another sound. Okay. Man. Okay. So the next thing I'm worried about is this power steering rack, and I don't know what kind of hack they paid to do this, but it wasn't a professional shop. There's no way. Like, it's missing a bolt for the hold down. It's they didn't even slide the hose clamp back over on this one. It's bad. I gotta check over the steering rack to make sure that it is good, because somebody, whoever worked on it, is not a professional. So I gotta make sure that it's actually safe. Freaking backing plate's gotta go. Okay, so one, I need to get that hose clamp back on there, on that hose. We got a pretty good leak, and I can't tell what it's from at this point, but it's a pretty good leak. And then I gotta crack the adjusters loose on the rack, and hopefully they come loose, and then we'll have to adjust it till our steering wheel is straight again. We're gonna have to let it down to change the steering, but I just want to crack them loose while I'm under here. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, oh, the other thing, the complete hackery, this one pisses me off the most. No castle nuts on the tie rod ends. That is a humongous no-no. That's bad. That's real bad. So, we got to get castle nuts on those tie rod ends. That's a big one. It's pretty bad when you don't put the cotter pins in. So, I'm willing to believe it was not a shop that did it. That's real bad, people. Really dangerous. That's not the shop you want to be going to. One that puts your family's life at risk because they don't know what they're doing. Oop, I found it. Alright, cotter pins in those. Now I gotta get that hose clamp back on that there. Oh, my light turned on, huh? So I don't know if you guys can see that back there, but that's a hose clamp up there, and it needs to go down about 6 inches. Or about 3 inches to get actually back on the hose. So that's what I'm going after now. And then it seems like everything else is fine. This thing wasn't changed. I mean, it wasn't changed super recently because it's really dirty already. So it's had a few miles on it since then. Plus, it's leaking all over. It's leaking something. I'm not sure what yet, but it seems like engine oil. So we got a few things we gotta take care of here. So let's see if we can get that clamp down where it belongs. Okay, there's one. Just gotta keep looking at things and try to figure out what is bad and what's good, and you know what's been screwed with. There's a lot of fluid back here. It's coming down from up top though. So we might have a valve cover leak, which is pretty common with these. It didn't look like it from the front, but the back corner's leaking. Alright, let's get her down and start to align it. Alright guys, I'm going to mess around with this and see if I can get it lined up better. I might end up taking it to an actual alignment shop eventually, but for now, I just want to get it closer. So that's what I'm working on. That one's got to go. I got to lengthen it. I got to shorten that one, which is the opposite of what I thought I had to do.
Alright guys, so I didn't mention it in this video, but in the last video I did, the steering wheel was turned like a quarter turn to the passenger side. So that's what I'm trying to fix here by adjusting the tie rod ends.
Alright guys, we got plenty more to do, but we got a couple rattles fixed so far. It looks like we need, we got some other stuff done, you know, the cotter pins and all that. Making it safer. Steering is a lot straighter. It's not 100%. I might just take it to an alignment shop, but maybe I'll just mess with it because it seems to drive really straight. It drives really good. The tires are wearing fine, so I think it's just the toe adjustment. So I might get in there and tweak it some more to get it perfect. That's probably what I'll do because I'm cheap. So we got a valve cover leak to fix, and we got to fix that VVTi solenoid, and I think it'll be ready for the road at that point. We still have wheel bearings to do later, and there's plenty more to do. There's a little bit of rust repair we're going to do, but I'll see you guys in a minute when we get stuff to do, valve cover and VVTi solenoid, or the lift solenoid. Good morning, everybody. We are back on the Pontiac Vibe, and today we are going to tear into it a lot more and hopefully get this thing back on the road. Maybe not today, probably tomorrow, but we're gonna get some stuff done. Let me show you guys what we got going on.
So I found another exhaust leak. So I got some exhaust parts out. So I'll show you guys that when we get to that. I think that might be the first thing that we do. Let's start down here. We have wheel spacers. We have lug nuts. I've already got 2 of the wheels on. I'll show you those in a second. We got stuff for an oil change. We've got stuff for valve cover gasket because that's leaking. Brand new NGK Iridium spark plugs. AC doesn't work, so we're gonna dump some refrigerant into it with leak detection so we can see if the system is leaking. If the system's not leaking, I'll probably take it and have it professionally charged the proper way. But I want to just get this in here. If we can see if it's got a bad pump or something like that, then I'm going to tear the whole thing apart and we'll probably replace everything. But we're going to start with this and just try to see if we can get it to turn on and see if it leaks. This one I'm really excited about. These are the shifter cable bushings, so it gets rid of the rubber bushings and you put these brass bushings in there, and then short throw shifter, both from Monkey Wrench Racing. These cars, 6-speed, it's really fun to drive, but the shifting is a little bit sloppy, so that's one of the things you can do. The shifting is a little bit long. This thing reduces the shift by 25% and tightens everything up and solidly mounts to the car. So it just kind of makes everything a little bit nicer. I wanted to do this on my last one, never got around to it, so I got it for this one. So I'm excited about that. So we got exhaust, we got shifting stuff, we got engine stuff. We got to do that VVTi solenoid when we're in there doing the valve cover gasket. And here are the wheels. So I've already got 2 of them on. I got the back ones on because I'm not doing anything in the back. These are Scion FRS wheels. They're 17s. They got a 215, 45, 17 Eagle, Goodyear Eagle RSA tire. I don't think that's really like a performance tire, but it's a good tire. And I got them for $400, and the tires, 2 of them are pretty much like new. The other 2, I'm guessing, were the back 2 on the car, so they have a little bit more wear on them. They're on the back of this car. I'm going to put these on the front because they're like brand new. So we got the same bolt pattern, 5x100, but the center hub bore is different. It's smaller on the car, so I got these little hub-centric rings. I thought that they were aluminum. I didn't realize they were plastic. You don't need them anyways. You don't really need them. So we got these 1-inch spacers. They're 5x100, 5x100, 1-inch thick. And so we just basically put this little, I'm going to run them anyways, put this little hub-centric ring in there, and that just helps, you know, center it when you're tightening the lug nuts. I think that's about all it's going to do. So we're not going to put these fronts on yet because we have, the other thing that we got working, that I need to do, is I'm going to do the front wheel bearings. So I got some loaded knuckles coming today, supposedly, and that's probably where we're going to not get to today. But we got a few hours to work, so we're going to get started. Oh, my friend Nolan's coming over, so you'll see him in a little bit. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to get this up. We're going to talk about the exhaust, and we're going to see if we can fix the exhaust on this thing. Okay, here's what we got going on. So we fixed this leak back here, and then I realized it's leaking up here. It's somewhere around the exhaust shield. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the bolts, and we're going to end up cutting it probably here, and then we're going to replace it with this. That's the plan anyways. I don't know if I have enough to do this. I think I'm going to use a flex coupler as well. So, and then I have this piece, and I have this if I need it, but I don't think I do. The flange coming out of the manifold looks pretty big. So this is 3-inch. So we'll see. We're gonna get that piece out of there real quick and see what we can do. Hopefully those bolts come out of the back of the header. All right, so we learned a couple of cool things about this exhaust.
I'm getting the flange gasket because I think that's what's leaking, but we're gonna do some stuff to this. But to start with, it's got a divider in here on the downpipe, and the downpipe's huge. It's about 3 inches. So I'm gonna keep this part of the downpipe. It goes down to about here where they put this other piece of pipe on here, and I'll probably end up cutting this off and then replacing the rest of it from here. But they're ordering the gasket for me. It's not gonna be here this afternoon, so we're gonna move on to the next thing, which I guess is the shifter cable bushings, because it's what we got access to under here. So we're gonna get those replaced, and then we'll work on something else. All right, so our shifter cables are right in here, so you're not gonna be able to see what we're doing, but I'm basically gonna pull these, pull these little pins out on here and here, and then we're gonna pop the factory rubber bushings out, at least in theory, and then we're gonna put those bronze ones in, and that'll be it. Hopefully it's as easy as that. All right, so we ended up popping the bushings out. This one came out real easy. This one came out in pieces. And this is what we're gonna be replacing it with. So you slide this guy in there. You put one of these big E-clips on there. I guess you put a little bit of grease as well. And then put the cable back on. I'll show you guys when it's done. This on? Yeah. All right, I don't know if you can really see that, but there they are. Yep, you can totally see that. Brass bushings instead of rubber bushings. Let her down. I guess we gotta do the inside shifter now. All right, so we're gonna switch. We're not gonna switch gears, but we're going to tag team this. Noah's gonna work on getting the valve cover off, the lift solenoid out, so we can replace the valve cover gasket, obviously, and clean off the lift solenoid, and hopefully that gives our lift back. And then I'm gonna go in and start disassembling the interior so that I can install the short shifter. Alright, so here's the factory shifter, and I just wanted to show you guys the slop. So first of all, the housing for it is plastic, and then here's all the slop right there built into it. That's really not that bad that way, but this way there's quite a bit of slop. So, I mean, that's a direct connection that way, but it's got some, and then the whole housing, the whole plastic housing moves. So this should be a huge improvement, but it is a giant and pretty big improvement from just replacing those bushings. So it does feel a lot better, but it's gonna feel way better with the new shifter. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this whipped out of here. So far, shift knob, shifter boot. Apparently there's one screw down here to get the console off somewhere, but they provide really good instructions here. So you follow these, and pretty easy installation. All right, so Noah is over here cleaning up the valve cover. We got that off. It looks okay in here. Chain looks pretty good. It's definitely a little dirty, but we're gonna take care of that. I got the shifter over here on the table, and you can see the differences. We got plastic everything. We got rubber bushings. This gets 0 bushings. This gets bolted straight down. To be nice and stiff. You can buy bushings basically to replace these rubber bushings, but you'll still have flex in the actual housing, and like I showed you in there, a lot of wobble in here, and it's probably just because this bushing's worn out in here or something. But we got our new one, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing put in. Alright guys, I got it in here. You have to reuse the little ball that comes on the shifter. They give you a tool for that. You reuse this spring here that centers everything back. It feels really good. That's reverse. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. It feels really nice now. So I'm super happy with this. I'm gonna go ahead and put the dash back together. For the most part, I probably won't put this back in because I need to work on that stereo. See if I can get that thing fixed. But shifter feels good. We'll put it all back together, and we'll move on to getting the valve cover back on. Very fiddly thing here. Alright, show the people real quick. Alright, so we got this block on the side of the block, And I think this is another lift solenoid. And there's a filter in there I'm about to pull out. Alright, so down here, it's hard to see. It's on the end of the head. And there's our filter. Right there. It's actually not terrible looking from the outside. But it's definitely got some crud in it. We'll clean everything up and hopefully it'll work. Yep, I'm going to flush this thing out and we'll get it back in. Alright, I wanted to check and see if this solenoid itself actually worked, and it seems like it works pretty good. So, clean this up, put it back together. Noah's working on cleaning up the rest of it, and we will get it back assembled, and hopefully the lift works. Alright, so we got this guy cleaned up. We're trying to get that filter cleaned up. It didn't look clogged, but when you tried to look through it, it was definitely clogged from the inside out. So we will get that finished cleaned up, and we'll get this whole thing back on. Hey, I can see through that from here. Oh man, we're gonna clean that while we're here too.
What's that?
The intake butterfly throttle body is nasty.
Really?
Alright, so there's our screen. We can finally see through it. So that goes back in like this. It's got a little key, so I'm gonna have to play with it to make sure it gets in the right spot, I guess.
Oh, on the back side of it.
Yeah.
Get your screwdriver.
Oh, that kind of popped in. And stop turning. Yep, that's it. Perfect. Okay. Okay, so we're going back in with this guy. I think we're ready. It's got a gasket. I don't know if I really want to put anything on there, so let's just try it. If it leaks later, I'll take it back off.
That's it. Oh, actually, yeah. Damn.
What?
So that's that.
Dirty? What do you mean? What am I looking at?
You see it right there, the wire?
Yeah.
That's clean.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the other side of it. I see. Yep.
Good.
It's just black. Valve cover gasket's taking a long time to do.
Good time to get in and do everything.
Yep. I lost a bolt. Just don't know where. I had one in my hand and then I dropped it and I picked it up and I was like, oh, well, there's another one, I thought. Or no, it was over here already. That's right. Okay. Nope. Everything's fine. Okay, let's see. Tighten this up. You can go ahead and start on that if you can get it.
Just get rid of those and good.
Here, just grab this thing out there.
Oh, gotcha. Oh.
What is it? Yeah, we need that. That's the important part.
I got it. Well, that worked right without that.
Okay, we got that plug somewhere. Where did you go, plug? Oh, that's over there. So we got everything back together, we think. We can't really test it out because I'm waiting for wheel bearings and the downpipes off of it. So it's going to be really loud. But we're going to start it just to see if it runs. It should run. And we changed the oil. That was 3,000 RPM only. It's just barely topped it.
Did you check codes for the
It threw codes for the not going to throw a code again until you try to go to lift. It didn't throw the code until I was like trying to hit it. You know, I was getting on it. So like if you just drive around and you never try to get into lift, it won't never throw a code. Okay, so wheel bearings, exhaust. Put it back up so I'm going to work on this exhaust. Alright guys, so I have made a decision on this exhaust. I'm going to do the whole thing. That's going to be in a separate video, but we've got brakes. We have wheel bearings to do. They haven't arrived. They've been delayed, but they're supposed to now be here tomorrow. So we're just going to go ahead and get ahead of it, and hopefully they send us the right parts. And we're just going to get this broken down, get things cleaned up that we need cleaned up, and just get ready to put it back together when the parts come in. So let's see how this all comes apart. This isn't right because it hasn't been there's a little indentation right here. You're supposed to hammer that in when you tighten this up. So I got one ball joint because I think the ball joint on this side is good and the one on the other side is questionable. So we'll see when it comes to that stuff what we're gonna do.
Alright guys, that's it for this one. On the next video you're gonna see me tackle the exhaust and probably put these wheel bearings back in and a whole bunch of other stuff and hopefully get this thing back on the road. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please smash that like button for me, hit the subscribe, hit the bell if you want to get notified of future videos coming out from DJ's Hot Rod and Fab. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.